Good morning, guys. How are you? So welcome to Up Talks episode number 6. And till now, I was just talking about the learnings that I was getting various from various coaches, mentors, and some books. This community of unlimited potential inside. But today, it's a special day, and it's special because I was talking with one of the reputed mentor, Vijay. Uh, and he's a coach, he's a mentor, he's an entrepreneur. So I thought, let me invite him and try to understand, because now there are so many things. People are managers, they don't understand leadership. People are leadership, they don't understand coaching. And nowadays, whenever I see any interviews, the JD senior folks, the one thing that they ask is, you should have coaching experience. They don't look for mentors and instructors, they rather look for coach. So, in the face of this rapid disruptive change, companies are somewhere they've started realizing that managers can't be expected to have all the answers, and that command and control leadership is no longer viable. And as a result, many firms have moved towards a coaching model in which manager facilitates the problem solving, and encourages employees development by asking questions, offering support, and rather than giving orders and making judgments. So who else but our esteemed guest, today's esteemed guest, Mr. Bijay Kumar Khandal, who is an entrepreneur, mentor, coach, can give us better insights on this. Vijay is also an alumnus of IIT Madras, and he's an executive director in John Maxwell team. And he's also a certified coach from John Maxwell team. On top of it, he's certified from Tony Robbins as well. And if you know IBGR radio network, he is a podcaster, top speaker there. He has experience of over than 13 plus years in coaching. And he's also a founder of an organization called Peak Impact Mentorship, which is making amazing impact. He has changed lives of many professionals, executives, and organizations. And I'm also one of them whom he impacted a lot. So, and just to tell about me quickly, I'm Vineet. I have 18 years of corporate experience, and I think most of you know me. If you don't know me, you can ping and I'll let you know more details about me. But this, at a high level, I have 18 years experience, and I'm into coaching since last few years. So with that, let's have Vijay on the screen and learn from him how managers and leaders can don the hat of coach, and they can become second next level. They can go to their next level of managerialship. They can go to the next level of leadership. So let's invite Vijay on the screen, and here is Vijay.
Hi Vineet,
Hi
hi,
Vijay, how are you?
so
Good
happy to see
morning.
you. Good morning. How is everything at your end?
Completely fine, Vijay sir. I hope I have not missed. You had so many credentials to say, so
Must
I just included what I remembered. But
see, John Maxwell always say this. It doesn't matter what people say about you, but the time you start talking to people, people will realize the truth anyways. So it doesn't matter if you missed out something also. So it really doesn't matter. So you had been doing quite a good. Your channel is doing very good. You are also helping a lot of people. So first, thank you so much for inviting me, because you are yourself a thought leader, and the work which you are doing is really inspirational. So continue doing it. Good job.
thank you so much, Vijay sir, and lots of inspiration comes from your work. So let's start this. Many people actually at my level, and I see when I discuss with people, Vijay, they have this question in their mind that coaching has somewhere in last 2 3 years it has evolved like anything. Every leader is being asked at a corporate level, you go and start learning coaching, and don't, because the kind of disruptions that are happening is very hard to control at a technical level. Everything is changing. The only thing is the people skills, the only thing is the coaching, right? So wanted to understand from you, Vijay, is how is coaching different than a traditional manager does his work, or a traditional leader? How is coach different from them?
All right. So let me take some time to explain to you the myth which people carry about coaching. Okay. I'm sure we all during our schooling and college have gone through some coaching center. Remember the term they used to say was coaching center rather than using learning center or institute. They used to use the term coaching center. So by the time we all grow up, our mentality towards coaching is that there is somebody who knows a solution and he will make our life easier. That is what he or she understand by coaching. And that is the first myth we all know. Whereas when you, in the real term, when you see coaching, coaching comes with an assumption that the person has the answer within. It's like they have a potential inside. As a coach, our task is to take out one layer at a time and unleash his or her potential. It's a big myth. So what people confuse a solution providing person with coaching. That's the first myth people comes with. So whenever they start coaching, their assumption is that a coach is supposed to give answer. And whenever I start my coaching session, I make them do the hard work, and they actually cannot understand what am I doing. And after 2 or 3 sessions, they actually start understanding the power of coaching versus power of teaching. Now, teaching has its own role. Nobody can deny teaching part, but coaching is different than teaching. That's the first thing. And another thing, when you talk about traditional and formal leader today, formal leadership also comes from the same domain, that a leader is somebody who is leading from the front. He or she has to have all the answers. And whereas in present scenario, the way things are changing, it is impossible that you can have all the answers within. And that is where the mindset of coaching comes into picture, where you're vulnerable, where you're okay to be vulnerable, where you're okay to accept that I do not know all the answers. And let us have a collaborative thinking together. Let us have a mastermind and let us understand from each other. That is what a corporate atmosphere today needs. Rather than having somebody a ready-made answer, the problem with ready-made answer is that answer might be obsolete. It might be coming from a thought of old school and may not be relevant in 2021. And that's where coaching comes into picture, and it is playing a major role in 2021. And post-pandemic, this is the most important skill anybody can master.
Amazing, Vijay. Thank you so much. And I think I'm sure that gives a clarity on how coaching is different from, as you said, I think this is not solution oriented. I think I remember earlier we used to say that Mr. Fix It for husband, you should not be Mr. Fix It. My
Fix
own
it,
managers
fix
and
it will
leaders.
be fixed very soon. Will it? Fix it will be fixed and out.
Rather we will be fixed and out. So now I think men of a mass. Now we'll have to write managers of a mass. And
Absolutely. You are given a good title. I think this will be the another next title of our book. We can co-author together.
amazing, amazing. That's great. Yeah, that's an amazing point that you made. I think somewhere in our leadership role, in our manager role, we start thinking that I have all the solution. And okay, you don't know. Okay, come to me. I'll give you a solution. And he doesn't even accept that solution, but he will do something. And that's where the average and mediocrity comes in. Great point, Vijay. So coming to the next part, I've seen that you train so many executives. You have been into so many organizations, startup and mid-size and large size, and also you coach individuals also. I know your individual coaching is very costly, but still I've seen that you do some individual coaching also. So if we talk about this coaching journey that you had with various executives, organizations, and individuals, how has been your experience with them?
See, the experience has been quite amazing. I'll give you some background of how I got started into coaching and what attracted me towards it. I have diverse background, being a school dropout, being IITian. Then I have struggled in to get a job. Then I got into corporate career, and after corporate career, somewhere I started getting into entrepreneurship. So I have seen a lot of different experiences, and those experiences started giving me a mindset that I am meant for something different. The experience which I am gaining, and somebody helped me in the coaching. See, I got a coach way back in 2008, and from that time onwards, I have been investing myself big time, and I realized my coach has actually unleashed my potential. My potential was there inside, but I was not aware that I have the giant inside me. And that's where coaching came. So I have a lot of coaches in my life. I have coaches like John Maxwell, I have coaches like Paul Martinelli, and I've been working with Magli and Pesa in RMT. So with blessing of God, I have been connected with the right kind of people from long time. That's where my interest started developing. So when I started seeing people in pain, let's take an example, the type of client that I have worked, I've worked with couples who are struggling in marriage. Big time, there's a big pain right now. In fact, 50% plus people post 10 years of marriage are struggling in their relationship. I found people are confused in their because they don't know what to do in their career. So that is where my coaching started coming in. So I started helping them. And when I started helping them, the joy was when they started growing. When you started suddenly start seeing somebody who's stuck in his career after 10 years, he do not know what to do. He's dragging himself to office. And that's where a coach comes into picture and have 6, 7 sessions with him and start giving clarity. And the same person in the same company, the same manager, all of a sudden he starts getting a meaning to his work. Suddenly he starts seeing his manager is super awesome. Suddenly he starts seeing the work is really great. Then what was the confusion? Confusion was, it's like a layer was on his potential, which he was not aware. Because of that layer, he was not able to see the vision beyond. Same thing happens in marriage. A couple which gets married with a lot of hopes that one day they'll create something great together, and all of a sudden, after 5 years in marriage, they realize, man, nothing is good among each other. A coach comes into picture. He starts sitting with them. He starts showing them that there are a lot of greatness both the partners carry. And like this, the moment the joy of serving people is the best happiness you can get. And that's when my coaching journey started. And I started enjoying it. And I started enjoying it to a level that I quit my job after some time, because first 5 6 years I was doing it on a part-time basis, and this slowly became my passion, and I realized my real future is here, because that's where I can really contribute to society in a much better compared to my high-paying job in the VLSI segment. That's what I can say.
Amazing. And that is something I'm sure that attracts so many people who get into coaching, that can they gradually build their own coaching setup, right? So somewhere that corporate is one part, but the coaching has so much of flavors that they can actually start doing freelancing and all those stuff. So, and you have been a real example where you've done. So you mentioned about John Maxwell, you mentioned about Paul Martinelli, you've also worked with Tony Robbins. So how has been your experience? Because all these are very different kind of coaches, right? Tony
Absolutely.
Robbins is a completely different guy, so much motivating, and the way he talks, the kind of energy and passion, that it was a different level. John Maxwell is a very peaceful, loving, and a very different kind of coach. And then Paul Martinelli again brings a different flavor. So you work with almost top coaches of the world. So how has been your experience with those people?
The point which you have made is very valid point. See, if I'll give an experience. So first few years I was with John Maxwell, and I'm associated with all three right now also. So John Maxwell comes with massive wisdom, the best mentor possible. I mean, I have been immersed into his content for more than 13 years now. 2008, I first time got his first book, Developing the Leader Within You. The moment I read it, I could not stop myself without completing that book. In 2 days, I was able to complete that book. And it fascinated me. I started thinking, man, what he's talking about is so powerful. Why is it not been taught in school? So I was thinking from teaching point of view. And then time passed by, and I started going through almost all his books. He has written 100 plus books. And I can tell you with tremendous pride that I've purchased all the books, and not only purchased, I have read it. So first 4 5 years it was going like that. In between, I got into John Maxwell team, and there I started getting into. John Maxwell team is one of the unique organization where you learn everything, starting from coaching to business development. They're the best platform in the world. And once I started going through there, I started feeling something beyond. I mean, the coaching was good, and obviously I wanted to get more exposure. And Tony Robbins also was one of my favorite. I have read his couple of books like Awakening the Giant Within, Unleash the Potential, all Unleash the Power Within. I read that book. And somewhere I realized they also have a coaching program. The moment I realized, I said, man, let me enroll in it. And but one thing is very important. Whenever you enroll, these all things are very expensive. Each comes with $3,500, $5,000, $6,000. And somewhere I was like committed to invest, no matter what money comes. I invested. Then I got enrolled in Tony Robbins. And I found something amazing. The way Tony Robbins coaching program works and the way John Maxwell coaching program works, conceptually all are same. All coaching program conceptually are same, that they will help you to unleash the potential of a person. So I cannot say this is different or that is different, but you get an exposure. The more exposure you have, the more audience you start understanding their pain point. And then also I met across Paul Martinelli. Now he comes with a much more diverse background. He has been an entrepreneur. He has run 6 to 7 companies. He has helped all the world-renowned authors to set up their coaching business. So with this exposure, when I got, I started understanding. First, my learning was you should have exposure, because with exposure you start seeing the world from a multiple perspective. And as a coach, it is so important to have that curiosity inside you, that you are willing to learn from others. That curiosity, that inner drive to learn something is very important. And that is where when I started getting this, and as of now also, not only that much, I've also worked with McClendon and Dr. Amen, because there also one coaching certification is there. I mean, I have made it a point that every year I have to get some new certification, not for the degree point of view, exposure point of view. Because every individual brings something on the table which is unique to them. And that exposure actually adds value to you, and it keeps you humble that you're still in a teachable board. And that makes it very important. That experience is very important.
Awesome. And you said you don't look for certification, and since you are already an IITian, and mostly I've seen IITians, so I've seen my earlier bosses as well. So the moment they are from IIT, they don't want to learn anything else. They think I know everything. You don't know anything. You come from normal colleges, and I'm so happy that you said that every year you try to add some more certification, as you said, not on the degree side, but rather on the growth side. And as you said, Vijay, that different experiences with different set of people, and I've seen that, as you said, one of the challenges is the cost, because the kind of cost they have, not most of the Indians will not be able to afford, and I think that's where you are able to bridge that gap, right? So somewhere you are able to bridge that gap from the perspective of taking that knowledge and then bringing it here, and then giving it to people every weekend for 100 rupees kind of you had started, and I know it's almost on the similar line. So just want to understand about this weekend workshop, which is kind of world famous, and I've seen sometimes more than 500 people join in that, and every week you are doing consistently for almost last few years. So, and the best part that I saw in that weekend workshop is you bring knowledge of wisdom of all great books, great coaches that you work with, and you also do it very dynamic. Most of the time I've seen it's some kind of offline which is recorded like an online. You hardly get interaction and all that, but the way you do, you show the surveys, you take the inputs, and dynamically you change your workshop according to what is required by people. So I would like to hear some experiences, because you have gathered hundreds of surveys, and which can become a research book in itself, right? So how has been your experience? If you want to highlight some of the surveys from there, how can help people?
Absolutely, absolutely. See, one of the line I read in John Maxwell's one book, I don't remember which was that book. It says that the only difference between somebody who is at the age of 30 versus who is at the age of 70, he says most of the things, common things of human life, you will come to know by the age of 30. The only difference will be by the age of 70, you will touch and feel them, and actually you'll get a perspective. So I thought, why to wait till 70 to touch and feel them? So I started doing my sessions, and we attract more than 500 plus people every weekend. And once we come, so I thought this is a great place to validate my thinking. So he says, right, most of our experiences, you will hear, okay, couples are struggling in marriage. Now, what is the validation? Who has seen it? So I thought, okay, let's see, 500 couples are coming. They're coming from diverse background, working professionals, somebody who is husband is working, wife is homemaker, and it's a mix of things. Somebody who's having couples now without children, couples with children, all the dynamics will change. And somewhere the research mindset being IITian was always there, that getting into depth of a subject, understanding the research, validating the data, that is somewhere in the core into me, where I want to validate the data. So I started doing it. I can give you some amazing results of my survey, the survey which has been done, and I have collected more than 500 plus surveys by now, because every weekend I collect 4 to 5 surveys. So if you say we have done more than 100 plus sessions in last 2 years, so 100 into 5 is 500, approximately 500 data. And one of my biggest dream is to publish 1 to 2 books a year, which will start. And right now I'm working on my latest book. So publishing book, adding value to people. So I need practical data in that. So I'll give you a couple of data which I have shared, and let me see if I'm available. So first data comes in terms of job satisfaction. And it was a survey which was done 3 months back, post-pandemic I'm talking about. The data says 63.4% of the people were not able to give their 100% effort because they were not able to connect with the work. Now, think upon it. Employer have hired them. Employee want to work also. There is no intention problem. Only problem is coming is that the person is not having a clarity. Can you imagine how much of potential is not being used? Neither the employer is happy, neither the employee is happy, because there is a loss of happiness. There's a loss of satisfaction, and once that is missing, I mean, I don't think there can be any bigger loss than humanity. And when I have this survey, what does it show to me? That every professional who is not able to enjoy his profession to the fullest should not have to struggle alone. He should not feel that it is bad luck. It is actually a myth. Only thing is, he needs a coach. He needs somebody who can show him the potential inside. And that is the missing link. One of the data I'm talking about. Another data at relationship front, because that is another area of my interest. 59.9% of the couples after 10th year of their marriage are not able to talk their heart because they don't understand each other's personality and have messed up the ego. In fact, I'm sure you're aware of it, that I do a career impact assessment as well. And the first thing when I do personality, can you believe couples after staying, and if it's an open challenge to all the audience if you're watching right now, Do you know 5 things which your spouse loves? I'll be surprised, to be honest. You may guess it, but validate the data. If you believe, okay, this is what my spouse wants, validate it. Your spouse, is this what he wants? Trust me, a simple thing, but people don't know. Do we know 5 things which your kid need from you? Think upon it. And that's changed the whole paradigm. The moment I get into this coaching call and start asking them, they start realizing, shit, man, I not aware also. I'm not even aware about this. How it is possible? And once that awareness comes, the relationships start healing and the bonding start developing, that passion starts coming in the marriage. Then let's talk about clarity of goals. This was another survey I did. 64.2% of the people in our survey we found did not have clarity of goals beyond the salary which they need. In fact, this is a discussion last week we had with one of the mid-sized company, which was of 105 plus employees. So the CEO was talking to me. He said, Vijay, I need your help in this area. Most of my employees who are at the senior manager and above, anytime we talk about growth, they start doubting me. They start thinking probably he's not going to give a hike. And he said, I want to remove that mindset from my team that growth is not hike. Hike is one component of the growth. Growth is something beyond. And I was able to see, I immediately told him, it is not, there is no quick fix solution. If you're thinking I can fix it in one session, forget it. It is a 1 year task where people have to get a mindset of growth. These surveys actually give you clarity. One more last survey I'll tell you. And this is the best survey of my entire last 2 years is this one. Fear of rejection. And the survey I did was, I asked a very simple question to people in my audience that you had an idea, let's say, okay, you have an idea which you believe can create a venture for you or anything it can do for you. But the problem is you are going to face rejection from your friend circle, from a close friend circle, from your family. What are you going to do? My heart started crying, when I saw this data. 49% people, in fact 49.2 to be precise, of people let go their dreams because their inner circle did not approve. Can you see? Actually, all these things are component of coaching. If they could have a coach and who can give them a clarity, end of the day, parent would have been convinced. End of the day, spouse would have been convinced. I have done all different sort of businesses and nobody was in favor of me. But what I did was, because I had a coach who was telling me, this is not the way to talk. Hold on, we'll talk like this. Ask them this question. Ask them this set of questions. The moment I started asking, I got alliance from people. So that is the data I'm having. And trust me, this itself is an amazing learning. If anybody is part of those weekend sessions, I can assure you one thing. One session is as good as, because I do a lot of research. Every week's entire research data I publish. And that helps a lot of couples. I mean, if you have not, and if nobody has ever attended any of you, you should be part of it. It will be amazing for you because it's a collaborative learning we all go through together.
Awesome, Vijay. I think so many, looks like there is some issue with my video, but I hope you are able to hear me, Vijay.
Yeah, I can.
So, I think you talked about so many surveys on the relationship front, on the purpose front, on the rejection front, and doing it dynamically, and then talking about that is so amazing. I'm sure people who are watching us who has not been part of this workshop, they will certainly be part of it. And I heard that it's very nominal. You don't even charge people much for all the wisdom that you give in these workshops. So thank you so much for that, Vijay. Let's move to the next part, which I wanted to understand from you is that since you have been exposed to coaching from different level of coaches, and you have yourself coached many executives, organizations, and individuals. So generally, they coaching. One of the confusion that comes is it's very confusing in the sense that somebody is a success coaching, another is a different life coach, then mentors, right? So there are so many variations of coaching, right? Uh, but somewhere this coaching stance is something we generally can take in all those things that I understand. But wanted to understand from you, Vijay, is what is your coaching style? How do you coach? When you coach, do you take different coaching style with different people? How do you go with that?
It's a very valid question. I mean, a lot of people. So first, I'll tell. Let's simplify the matter. They say it says Einstein once said, right, that the art of the best communicator in the world is somebody who can simplify the thing. So let me first simplify. Let us not complicate the matter. Let's not put it. Okay, he's success coach. He's this coach. He's that coach. Coaching. In fact, my biggest awareness came when first time I heard from one of my coaches, Paul Martinelli, and in fact Tony Robbins team also. I heard this. They said a coach is somebody, because a coach's purpose is to unleash the potential from within. That means I may not have a subject knowledge, of one area. I may have just brief knowledge of subject, okay, but I can help them. Coaching is about bringing out the best in you, not in me, okay. So it means my knowledge in an area actually can be a bottleneck many a times because of that mentoring experience, okay. Mentoring and coaching is not same. So the way I take it first, as long as you have a strong desire to serve people, you are eligible to get into coaching. Second, if you have a curiosity rather than the tendency to give solution, if you are a curious person, you're trying to know, man, why is this guy in pain? What happens to him? Why is he not able to perform? Is he stuck somewhere? That mindset is needed first. So what I believe is, first have a curious mindset, the mindset of learning rather than giving, the mindset of taking more, understanding things, and then trying to show the person his own speaking. And many times, that is what a coach does. When I ask 6 to 7 questions, I note down, okay, this is what you said. So hold on. If let me understand, let me summarize what you said. Once I do this with them, they realize, did I say this? Yes, you said this only. And once they see their own thought pattern, this itself gives them a clarity. So I do coaching from more or less all the stands, as long as the person is willing to learn. So if you ask me categorically, I do group coaching where in corporates there is a target. Okay, they have this target to be met, and they need somebody who can monitor on a regular basis, help people to keep on track. I do group coaching. I do executive coachings, one-on-one coachings. Not only that, when this comes from the professional side, on the non-professional side, I love the most favorite topic of mine is couple coaching, because when marriages are not healed, it hurts me, because I have struggled in my marriage for 7 years. And once I've struggled in my marriage, that become one of my missions, that I want to fix this issue for the world. I want to help couples to bring out of it. And that became another passion of mine, because the formula is still the same, whether it is couple coaching, whether it is somebody else. I I talk to most of the mid after 10 years experience. A lot of people are confused in their career. I get involved with them also. So any stance of coaching for me is very simple. As long as you're curious and you understand the principles of coaching, and you have really invested in yourself to study, and you have a coach yourself, you will get into coaching. So my coaching stance is, get into the domain where somebody is excited to coach. I get into almost all the domain, whether it is executive coaching, whether it is one-on-one coaching, couple coaching. So I get into diverse, and because of my diverse experience, many times I can understand the top view of the pain of the person, and just I help them to unleash it. That's what I do.
Awesome, Vijay. And I don't see many people because sometimes I see coaches who are pure coaches. It's hard for them to mentor or discuss with executives, and then there are executive coaches. So that's good to hear that you are able to, uh, according to the person, you are able to adapt and either coach individuals or executives according to that. So next, I wanted to understand from you, Vijay, is for a manager or even a leader. If he wants to bring this cultural transformation in the organization from command and control to facilitating problem solving, so the first thing that I hear from them is, how do we start? What is so? Shall I learn coaching, or how? What exactly should happen if, let's say, a leader decides, okay, now I need to change the culture of my organization? How can he start? You said CIR, you said about some tools and all that. So if you can put some light on this.
Perfect. So it's a very valid question, Vinit. And post-pandemic, it has become very important because the face-to-face interaction has reduced. In fact, half of the meetings in office, videos are off. Under this condition, how will you know the pain of somebody else? I mean, imagine how difficult it is. We cannot see people. We cannot spend time with them. We cannot understand their pain. Under this condition, how are you expecting them to perform to their peak? And there's a big debate going on right now whether work from home is better or whether working from office is better. And each has their own merits, each has their own disadvantages. But the whole idea is, at present, coaching has become the most important buzzword. This is another story that a lot of people don't understand it. So first, what I'll tell you is, every manager should have a personal coach. That's the first thing I believe. Because if he doesn't have a coach, he cannot understand what exactly coaching stands for. So he should experience that. See, you can take a coaching course, you can take coaching book and read, but unless you have a personal coach yourself, you cannot understand what coaching actually does in your life. Because if you don't believe in it, you will not do it. Otherwise, what will happen? Now imagine the big difference between mentoring and coaching. In mentoring, you are limited with your knowledge. In coaching, you are collaborating with other people's knowledge. So actually, it is more bigger than this. Many times you'll be surprised, a person having 5 years experience can bring on the table something which a 20 years guy cannot imagine. It seems there's a noise at your end. So I'm muting you. You can mute yourself. Huh? So a 20 years experienced person can learn from a 5 years experienced person. That is amazing. And that is only possible if the person is curious. So first I would suggest have a personal coach. And then I do a lot of programs which can help them out. First program I will recommend anybody on this call, or if you're watching a recording later on, is go for a career impact assessment. This is one of the most powerful tool I've ever come across in my life, and I'm a consultant for that. What it does is it gives the person 7 parameters about himself: his inner drive, his external behavior, his learning pattern, his leadership style, his thinking style. Once the person has this data with him, actually he has a crystal clear view of the world. He can see, okay, this is how I think, this is how my subordinate think, this is how my reporting thinks. This gives a clear picture to them. Amazing output. So first I do that. Then I also do a lot of teaching workshop. So there's a difference, right? On one side you need teaching also. Sometimes teaching is important, sometimes mentorship is important, sometimes coaching is important. So I wear multiple hats. I do a lot of coaching in terms of leadership also. I do 12 weeks leadership workshop, 6 weeks leadership workshop, both in coaching format and as a consultant format. It seems your noise is there, Vinit. Yes. So I do it in both the formats. So I do that. And I do personal growth club, which are weekly basis where people want regular things, weekly mentorship calls we do. So I do a lot of programs based on, and most importantly, I do not have a fixed program for simple reason. I do not want to force my idea on people. Rather, what I do is I customize the program. I have enough tools with me. Based on people's need, I create small groups and I customize the program for their need, because that is more important, not what I have in my bag. What I want to give them is what they want. And that's how I customize the program. So I have a customizable program. Anybody having any corporate challenge, stuck in life, stuck in marriage, they can definitely reach out to Peak Impact Mentorship, and I can definitely help them out.
Thank you so much, Vijay. You already talked about the programs, about CIR, and I have myself gone through that, and that's an amazing assessment report for a personality. I never saw that anyone giving me 41 page of report about me, about my strengths and weaknesses and all that, and I'm sure people can get really benefit out of it. So. Beyond this, Vijay, what will be your message to young coaches who want to take coaching as a career, or let's say mentorship as a career? What will be your message to them?
That's a very valid question. The first thing what I would say is start small. Problem with most of us is we want to start big. Just like I started my career, I did not started with a big career. What I started was I was along with my job. I was doing on part-time basis as a consultant. I was learning. This is the first thing I'll tell you. Start small. Thinking big is good, great to do, but start somewhere. That's the first thing I'll tell you. Second thing I'll tell you, be curious. Whenever you see, it has been said, right? Children are extremely curious. So people stop them and don't ask so many questions. And then by the time they become 25-year-old, the questions have fallen down by 70%. They stop asking question itself. By the time they become 35, 40, their prestige issue comes. How can I ask this question? Because that shows I'm foolish. That's the problem. So what I would suggest is first, this is a new world altogether for you, where you are thinking. Where thinking, I'm not aware. I want to know why is it happening this way. This is the first most important thing to practice. So if you're a new coach right now, develop this question asking ability rather than solution providing mindset. What it means is, anytime you see anything, you should be curious. Why is it happening? What is the purpose? What is the intent behind this work which somebody is doing? If you see tomorrow your spouse doing something, start thinking, what is the intent he's trying to solve by doing this? You see your child, you will change the whole paradigm. You just ask this question to your child tomorrow when he does something. What were you trying to accomplish by doing this? Just ask this question, and you'll see your child is not defensive anymore. He's opening up. So coaching is not only the profession. If somebody can develop the mindset of coaching, he will be amazed by the transformation he will see in his personal life to begin with. And they say, right, the personal life is improved and become better, then you have to just replicate it in your professional life. So that is what I can say to young coaches. And secondly, you should have a personal coach yourself, because you want to get into coaching profession and you don't have a coach. I mean, there's nothing else it means you don't believe in this profession and you are trying to take shortcuts. If you are taking shortcuts, you don't have a personal coach, then it seems somewhere down the road you are not having clarity of this subject. All professional, successful coaches have their personal coaches. If you cannot invest in that yourself mentally, I think you should not be in that profession right now, because you are not mentally prepared for that. You should have a personal coach and you should have an investing mindset. That's the first thing I can do. There are a few things I can recommend to you.
Awesome. I see many people commenting. Also, great insights, Vijay sir, and all that. Uh, that's so amazing. That looks like my internet is a bit on a sticky wicket, so I can't. I am not able to move. I'm moving, but not on the screen.
Nothing to worry.
So I think you told a couple of great points. One is coaching is more than a profession; it's a mindset, right? If I have to first learn, and this mindset can be used in all the fields that I'm in. It shouldn't be only coaching, but even as a manager, as a leader, as a software engineer, as everything. I think somewhere I can leverage this coaching mindset. And the second part that you said is about investment. Somewhere, if I don't have coach, people are somewhere why they don't have coach, they have to invest, and if they don't invest, it's like not believing on yourself. I remember in one of the session you said this, that it's like in stock market, if somebody, why would somebody not invest on a particular company? Because he thinks that company can fail. So similarly, let's, if I think I will fail, I am a failure, then I'll not invest on myself. But if I am sure that I am going to make this work, I know I am going to, I believe on myself, somewhere I'll invest on myself. So that's an amazing message. And with this stuck video itself, I'll say thank you so much, Vijay, for coming here, giving your time, and helping many people. I'm sure this recorded videos people will watch, and they'll understand how this coaching stance can be leveraged, and they can become better managers and better coaches. Any better managers and leaders. Any last thought, Vijay, you want to share before we wrap this up?
Last thought is we are post-pandemic era. Only curious people can sustain. All people who believe they know it, they will have tough time to continue post-pandemic for sure, because things are changing. I mean, yesterday I think you still forwarded an article where bots are firing people. Not even human beings are required to fire people. So the world is changing at a rapid pace. That means curious people have future, because curious person believes I need to understand more. I need to learn something new. And a learned person believe I know it already. So know it already people will have tough time. And people who are curious, they want to learn, will always go. That's where coaching comes into picture. So it was great talking to you, Vinith. You are doing good job, by the way. Continue, because I really keep following your work, the work which you have been doing, and the value which you're adding to the table. You yourself are a coach, and you are doing good job. I can, because you have not talked about yourself. Let me give some background about Vinith, because I know him for more than 7-8 years now. He is very passionate about impacting society. He himself coaches a lot of people along with his hectic job because of his passion. I mean, he doesn't do it for money purpose right now. His passion is in impacting society, and he has that. He has that niche into it, where you're getting into people's mind, helping them out. Unbelievable leader. So if you are associated with Vinith, I can tell you he is the best leader you can have. The work which he does is mind blowing. You should have him as a coach. He can transform you. I mean, the mindset he carries, the curiosity which he carries about subject is something which can transform you. It was great talking to you, Vinith. I'm so happy that you invited me, and keep doing the good work.
Thank you so much, Vijay sir. Thank you for coming here, and thank you for inspiring everyone. So I'm sure we'll keep talking to you whenever you have some time, and we'll learn different aspects of coaching. Thank you so much, Vijay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.